morning and welcome to your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, October 30th, 2025, Aries. You wouldn't expect any enormous changes today. The process you began 3 or 4 years ago could accelerate slightly. You're changing the moodings of the identity and the ideas that make you sure of who you are. Your family background and education no longer counts for as much as your spiritual foundations, so please put them in order. Taurus, today ahead should be fairly positive. You'll begin to feel the faintest hint of a major change beginning. The new phase will last for 7 months. As it progresses, you'll find greater freedom in your expression. You're going to expect to shift into your high gear on subjects you used to avoid in the past. Some friction with siblings may arise in the next few months, so please be careful. Gemini, the solar system is liable to trigger some transformation that will last for a couple months. The change will center on the means of you to fulfill yourself in terms of your career and love life. If you feel hemmed by your trading or upbringing, you can expect to seek liberations from these inhibitions in the months to come. Cancer, it's an excellent day for you. Although no major events will occur today, there is the promise of freedom in the coming months. A fundamental shift is about to occur in your occupation and love life. As the months unfold, you can expect to be more visionary, more creative, and perhaps more rebellious. You'll be much more effective than in the past for the past 2 or 3 years. Leo, to understand the shift occurring today, you must look at events from a softly perspective. A slow liberation process is gathering momentum, and over the next few months, you won't refuse the opportunity to rid yourself of oppressive parts from your past. You'll shed your old compasses and emerge renewed. Your heart will be alarmed if family relations suffer a bit. The distress is only temporary, so don't stress. Virgo, the gentle winds of change are blowing through your life at this moment. You have a feeling of newness and an open attitude towards the world. Some outside events you give the impression that you're advancing in a concrete manner towards a new life. You can expect to have some pleasant surprises, so please enjoy them. Libra, in your case, the phrase turning point has some new meaning. This turning point could take the form of a new person or a key event that changes things forever. Some things, amazing things that we hear really do happen. One of these things may be happening to you in the coming months, so please be prepared. Scorpio, it may be that you've come back deeply changed from a long voyage. Of course, travel changes everyone to some extent, but in your case, the change is more profound. You're going to have a problem getting back into your older life. It may feel too limiting for you, so what are you waiting for? Change it. Sagittarius, if you feel suffocated by your romantic relationship and if you feel it lacks spice or is too traditional, then why not liberate yourself? Today's planetary energies will help you turn even the craziest ideas into reality. Starting today, you're going to be asked to be more decisive, so please, think on. Capricorn, you met some strange people who have greatly influenced your attitude about your marriage or relationship. Some people have even been pushing you forward with more freedom. These people have been influenced by the planetary alignments, but that's no reason to be free of luck, or you'll have no complete subjectivity. Aquarius, if you've yearned to modify something in your daily life, do it now. The planetary energy is often telling you that the hour has come to make concrete changes. Whether the change you seek is a home or at work, physical or emotional, don't be afraid to seriously upset the status quo of your life. Pisces, the planetary shift will be probably imperceptible today, but you'll have several months to interpret it and how you change the impacts for you. It will dawn on you that you feel a strong need for liberation. Perhaps you need to release yourself from a bond or group. Change your innovative life and breathe some fresh air. You'll be glad you did so. This has been your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Do have yourself a great and a wonderful day.
Happy Thursday, guys. How are you doing? I hope you had a wonderful night. Oh boy, not so much so for our friends and our counterparts, our brothers and sisters over in places like Jamaica and Cuba and these other areas. So our prayers and thoughts continue to be with them. But let's go on over to our news department. We'll be back.
Good morning. Time now for the news. My name is Timothy Polion. Tensions in the Caribbean are spiking as the United States deploys its largest aircraft carrier to the region, following deadly strikes off the coast of Venezuela that have claimed at least 57 lives. CARICOM has launched a formal watching brief urging member states to preserve the region as a zone of peace, while St. Lucia braces for potential economic and educational fallout amid fears that the conflict could ripple far beyond Venezuela's shores.
Sometimes persons who are involved in making those decisions, they don't really consider the collateral damage that will be there. So we've always promoted the Caribbean as a zone of peace. We've always promoted the notion that nuclear weapons and warships and those things should be kept out of the Caribbean. And we hope as much as possible we can keep the Caribbean a safe and peaceful area, in this world. We do not want to be a theater of war.
The U.S. says its increased military presence in the Caribbean is aimed at countering drug trafficking and transnational criminal networks. Venezuela, however, has condemned the deployment and strikes, calling them a cover for aggression and potential regime change rather than genuine counter-narcotics efforts. In other news, tension fled once again in the House of Assembly on Tuesday as Speaker Claudius Francis and opposition leader Karen Chastney clashed during what became a heated and prolonged sitting. The exchange added to an already eventful day marked by technical problems and repeated disruptions.
Suspend for 5 minutes. Suspending on the standing order 43-2.
The latest confrontation adds to a long series of disputes between Speaker Francis and opposition leader Chastney, who has previously been at odds with other presiding officers over parliamentary conduct. Jamaica is reeling this morning from the catastrophic force of Hurricane Melisa, a Category 5 storm that slammed into the island with 185-mile-per-hour winds, tying records as one of the most powerful hurricanes ever to strike land.
It looks really, really difficult in many parts of Jamaica, and it is very difficult. And the images we're getting are really devastating. But as always, I've always said it, we are a strong people, we are a resilient people, and we will get through this together. The first order of the day today really is to have an assessment of what has happened, and that is being done. This morning, right before this press briefing, there was a cabinet meeting, that was really about coordinating how we get these assessments done well, how we get resources to those that need it the most.
As daylight broke yesterday, scenes of devastation stretched from Montego Bay to St. Elizabeth, testing both Jamaica's infrastructure and its spirit. The Caribbean is setting its sights on the future of global trade and sustainability as the second International Workshop on Trade, Industrial Policy and the Bioeconomy kicks off at the Harbour Club. Experts are exploring how the region can turn its natural resources into economic gold, tapping into a bioeconomy projected to soar to US $30 trillion by 2050.
So the whole idea of this bioeconomy is, and the intersection now with trade, is finding ways to encourage husbandry in the way we manage our resources, but nonetheless take advantage of our comparative advantage in economic terms. That is the thing we are good at producing, and help to find a way to get sustainably managed economies through nature.
After the workshops, Dr. Remy says that elements of a trade and bioeconomy agenda for CARICOM will be developed. She hopes workshop attendees will now engage policymakers at CARICOM and the WTO to propose ways that trade rules can be leveraged to advance the nature economy across the Caribbean. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Join us at noon for our next News Major. I'm Timothy Polio. Good morning.
Thank you, guys. Let's take a break. We'll be back. Guys, we have have a special edition this morning because, of course, we needed to contact and connect with our people are on the ground over there in Jamaica to get a feel of what is happening. And we do have a St. Lucian who is a friend that is also part of the journalist team over there. She's aligned with TVJ, and Janella was on hand. And then, you know what, we had to spend some time, getting a feel and a sentiment from Janella as to what the atmosphere before the storm and now after the storm is like. So here's Janella.
Well, what can I say?
Janella,
I don't
Janella
even know where to
Precious, of
start.
course. You're over there in Jamaica, St. Lucian. Very much Jamaica has become home for the past, as long as you could remember. You're working over there in the media as well. Having had to go through this, I mean, obviously, all solution is now saying, boy, what's going on? We're looking for our people rather, because this was not an ordinary one. I mean, we had all of the indications, all of the narratives that indicated that this was not a normal, regular, what any one of us have experienced before. And you're there on the ground for that. What is the atmosphere like? How are you doing, by the way? You look good, but I want to make sure. Are you good? Is everything okay? Your family's okay?
I'm good. I am good. We're all good. We are in Kingston.
Oh,
The
okay.
impact of the hurricane wasn't as severe as was in other parishes like St.
St.
Elizabeth,
Elizabeth.
Westmoreland, St. James. That is not to say that it didn't that we did not feel the impact because it was a pretty huge weather system. I was scared, let me tell you, girl.
Oh,
I was scared. The wind speed, that was so scary because the hurricane made landfall early in the morning, and I don't think anyone slept. We were at the office, obviously. I don't think anyone slept because it was just so scary because you could have heard the wind howling on the inside, and I mean, you could hear the trees. It was crazy. But today it all became clear, the devastation that Melissa unleashed on the island. And I'm talking about damage to infrastructure, and not just infrastructure, personal infrastructure, but you're talking about hospitals, you're talking about schools, you're talking about, essential places. And so it is going to be some time before the country recovers from this. And I just wanted to make it absolutely clear, Jamaica is a huge place,
yeah.
okay? And there is this misconception, by the way, that the entire island is flattened. No. The areas that were impacted are located towards the southwest as well as the north of the country. And so it is not the entire island that is facing this devastation. Yes, some places don't have electricity because electricity poles would have fallen, and but the true impact is not in the entire country.
Right.
So I wanted to be
Right.
absolutely clear because there seems to be this misconception that the entire Jamaica is underwater, and no, that is not the case. That is an AI video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We saw that, and that was so insensitive on other people's part. We've been given the technology, but some of us are so dumb. We don't even know when to stop, when to not. When to pull the curtain or pull the rug. We just go in. In terms of Janella, I know it's going to be a little while before we can get officially, because I guess assessments and stuff have to be done by the officials first before we get into that. But from your standpoint, in terms of like, I know some of the airports have been destroyed as well, had damages as well. Generally on the ground, in terms of walk us through that those hours leading up to all of the conversation that was indicating that this is not something that could be avoided, but at the same time knowing that you're on an island where something is approaching that you have no control over, and it is stated to be one of the things that we've never experienced before. In terms of the anxiety and the mindset of what could have been created, you yourself being there, can you give us a little insight as to that point of it? And obviously, we're going to stay in contact with you, and as things go along, we hope that you're going to be available to us. available to give us some more insight as we know things break down and go through that. But from a personal standpoint, what was that atmosphere like? What was that mindset? What was the emotions that was going through at that time?
Okay, so there was a little skepticism at first, but not from everybody. Some people, they questioned whether or not the system would come because in the past, a system would be heading towards X country and then, Mother Nature might just pull it away. But there was no doubt that this was heading straight for Jamaica. And from last week, the government, as well as the other authorities, they had been preparing the country for what is to come. So they encouraged persons, to get their shopping done, et cetera, et cetera. The shelters were open from very early. So probably 2 days before the system actually made landfall, a lot of the hurricane shelters were opened. Did people go there? Not really.
We know how that
They
goes,
waited
isn't
until
it?
the last minute so they waited. A lot of people waited until they actually saw the rains, and for some it was too late. I think in one case we know of a situation where a family of, I think it was 6 or 8, they were trapped, and it was difficult for the firefighters to go because the water level was so high. Listen, Melissa poured so much water on this country. I mean, it was just absolutely mind blowing. Again, we had not experienced a Category 5 storm before. And so one did not know what to expect. But I would say for the most part, persons took it very seriously. They stocked up. And what we would like, though, is that persons living in low-lying areas, because as you know, we are an island. And so a lot of the times the hurricanes would begin along the coastline. So it's very important that persons living in these areas start to understand with climate change, we're going to see more Melissas.
Yes.
And so you need a plan. So it's either move with people. If you don't like the shelters, if you have an issue with the shelters, you move with people, further inland or something, But I think I would have to give kudos to the authorities. They did what they can, providing us with the information, and I thought that at the end of the day, you cannot control where a hurricane goes and what a hurricane does. The most you can do is try to prepare yourself, but I can tell you nothing prepared us for this. It was just
Absolutely
absolutely
not.
amazing.
Wow. We definitely continue in the conversation with Janella. Stay with us. We know a lot is going to be having to happen. The reviews are going to have the assessment. All of these things are going to have to be done in the coming days and weeks. But you know what? I personally wanted a feel from Janella as to the atmosphere and the emotions when you are looking at this thing, knowing that every indication is that you can't avoid it, and it was something unlike any other. We have never witnessed something of that magnitude and strength before. And you were there in that island, and you had no choice. This is coming to you. What was the atmosphere like? What sort of emotion that they were going through at the time? I posed that question to Janella as well. You know what? We want to continue to stay locked on and stay in tune with you. Hopefully, your work is going to be, you are part of the media, so that the coming days, your work is really going to be cut out for you as well. So we do appreciate you taking the time to, connect with us back home and ensuring that you give that, that honor to us as well. And we hope that we'll be able to get that. We'll understand if anything goes differently, but certainly it was an honor for you to tap in with us, and if we can get to do that as we go forward, because there's going to be a lot. Like you said, in the coming days and weeks, and we would like to follow up with that. But I'm definitely happy and grateful, and I'm sure your Solution family members and countrymen and women are grateful and happy that you're okay. Moving forward, what is the immediate anticipation? Do you think, from your standpoint, from a journalist standpoint, what do you think are some of the immediate things that's going to have to be put in place, and in terms of you guys? Adding your own expertise to the rebuilding?
Okay, so the rebuilding has started. There was a press conference a short while ago, and the government gave the all clear because, as you know, Melissa has moved away from Jamaica, and it did its own little devastation in Cuba. That's another story. But we have gotten the all clear so that supermarkets can now open for people who need food. The officials from the workmen from the utility companies, and we're talking about power company, we're talking about the telecoms providers. They're actually now on the ground because they were waiting for that all clear so that they can begin the work one in restoring power. Quite a few people are without power. In the areas most impacted, they have no power. There is absolutely no way to communicate with them for the most part. Some people have Starlink, and they have been using that. But thank God for technology. Not sure how soon the people from the power company will be able to restore power. An assessment would have to be made, and they made it absolutely clear that patience will be needed because quite a few light poles are down. I don't have any power, but I mean that's okay. I don't have any power, but I'm so grateful that I'm alive, and I'm so grateful that I can talk to you, right now. So that is the least of my problem because you have candle and you have solar stuff, so that's fine. But the number one priority is for assessments to begin. It started today, and an amazing thing is that CARICOM countries, including St. Lucia, they have offered to help where they can. We've also seen where the diaspora, not just in the United States, but Canada, England, they are rallying the troops. And it's not just Jamaicans living in the diaspora. This is it's just a beautiful thing about Caribbean people. Everybody wants to help. And so we have seen where there is mobilization on that front because there is I think it's clear that government alone cannot do it. And so we're getting a lot of support from the Caribbean, from the diaspora, and Red Cross, these agencies, Salvation Army, that support is going to be needed because I can tell you, in one of the parishes where there was complete devastation, it's an agricultural belt. Our agriculture sector has been decimated. Let me just be absolutely clear. And it is going to take some time. And this is one of the parishes where last year they're recovering from a hurricane. And boom, climate change again. If there is any doubt about climate change, it is real because we are now seeing systems. I mean, look at Melissa. She was crawling like a snail. She was crawling. And like, what kind of hurricane is this, And so it's just, at this point, we know that the recovery will be hard, but as long as there's support, it's not going to be as difficult or as much of a challenge as has been in the past as well.
Wonderful. Jay, thank you so much again. And our prayers continue to go up. And of course, like you mentioned, we are Caribbean people and are resilient people. And when the time calls on us to be able to do that, we band together. And I think this is going to be just another representation of that. So we look forward to connecting with you again in the coming weeks. But thank you again. And you take care of yourself and the rest of the people over in Jamaica. Our prayers and thoughts and hearts are with you at this time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you, darling. Thank you. This morning, two young ladies we connected with because there is a particular app. It's already being used in places in the French territories, and we're hoping to introduce the app here in St. Lucia for ladies in distress, who may be going through whatever. It's an app you can download, and just at the press of the button, you can find assistance. I am excited to be amongst these two wonderful ladies here. Always active, always present. This time, they're at it again, and they are aligning with an app. It's a new app that we are trying to introduce. Not trying, it's a matter of putting it in, that we're going to be able to use and utilize the services of this app in the coming months here in St. Lucia. It's an app that is curated
The founder is in France, in Paris, and it's being used internationally. It's in a number of different countries, Canada, around the world, and it's translated in the different languages as well.
Yes.
So bringing it to St. Lucia is something a very smooth transition. It's there. It's ready for us to use.
Right. What is the app about now?
So one of the things that we at Youth Spark we've always tried to do, especially through our She.LC program,
Yes.
is to promote avenues for women empowerment, to assist women in danger, etc. So this app, really and truly what it does is that once you sign in and you're on, if you need assistance in any way, be it that you're being attacked,
Right.
be it that you just need a safe space, you need someone to come and help you, all you do is you press the alert button and persons within
Your vicinity.
will respond one time to say, what do you need? Do you need a ride? Do you need to get to a safe place? Do you want us to call somebody? Is it that you're feeling suicidal and you need assistance? What exactly do you need?
At the touch of a button.
Touch of a button once you have the app. And again, so everyone on the app has been verified.
Okay.
Every single person. So you are sure it's not necessarily someone coming to try to take advantage. Everybody, we make sure it's women on the app and we make sure that they are persons who can assist.
Right, because I was about to say that. Now, who can how do you get on into that community, into that space? Because when I press that button, it's supposed to go to people that you know, people that you trust, people that I can feel safe with. So how is that process done? How is it vetted? How do persons get on board? If I would like to be signed on as a safe space, play my role in this, and I want to be signed on as somebody that when that alert goes off, I can see whether or not I'm in the space that the person need and whether or not I can meet that need.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So one of the things that we've done, and Crystal has really pushed to make sure that we are connected to the right authorities. So we've met with the gender relations. There's a gender violence committee, national committee. We've met with them. So the safe spaces are not spaces that we have just decided. This is yes,
Right.
but we are being advised by them. So we are looking at community centers, persons, police, and so forth, who will be part of the safe spaces. So the average St. Lucian can be part of it. You log on, you go through the process. Once you're vetted, you're part of it. But there are also those spaces that will be included and those persons included.
Right. So, Crystal, you want to expand a little bit, just a little bit on that?
So we can sign on. So we go to the Play Store app, we download the app, and then you do the sign in.
Right.
Your email goes to not a machine, not a robot, somebody who will look at your ID and that sort of thing, the information and do the check, and then give you the okay that you are on. Right. So those persons on the app, there's a little map you can show and you can see who's around you. Those persons, you can have faith that they have been vetted.
Right.
Right. And then as gender relations and so on would have advised us, we put the task force numbers, or we put different agencies' numbers on there and so on. And we in that process right now, so that when you get on there, you have all the avenue to get these things at your fingertip.
Right. So even if I go onto the app, I signed on and I try to go through the thing, and after the vetting and the background check, they're not comfortable with me. They're not going to give me that access.
No.
Oh, well, that feels safe. All right. What's the name of the app again?
The Sorority. The THE Sorority. Exactly that. And you go on, you search it, it's right there. You can go on YouTube, you can get information about this because, as I said, it's there already. So you can get a YouTube video that says, explain in 60 seconds. Right. Bam. You know what to do. You get a purview of what it is all about. And so it's so interesting. I really wish that people will take this easy step and use it as a tool for our safety.
Absolutely. Cantilia, Crystal, I can't wait to see how this unfolds. And I think I might want to sign myself up in the safe space as well. And if you're thinking it out there as well, now is the time to have the conversation to see whether or not you could be qualified and you could, meaningfully contribute. The Sorority. We look forward to what's to come. And again, guys, we continue to appeal to you. That's our show for today. We continue to appeal that, you know what, we're in tune. I'm sure our own governments, we're going to stay in tune with, you know, the official ways and means in which we can continue to assist our brothers and sisters within the region, Jamaica, Cuba also included. But that is our show for today. Go on out and, you know, be mindful, and be appreciative. And gratitude is definitely a must. Today is Jamaica. It could be us in another time. So let's all band together and assist where we can. It is said that every man meets his shadow. The wise bow, the fool starts a war. Have a good day.